Welcome to Family Law Talk, presented by Kirk Stange of Stange Law Firm, PC. Stange Law Firm is a family law firm in the St. Louis metro area with offices in Missouri and Illinois. Now, here's your host, Kirk Stange.
Welcome to Family Law Talk. My name is Kirk Stange, and I am one of the managing partners of Stange Law Firm. Welcome to today's episode of Family Law Talk with Stange Law Firm. We've got a great topic here today. We'll get that here in just a second. But as I always state, I'll state right now that the choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be solely upon advertisements, and that the information you obtain today in this episode is general in nature, and it may not apply to specific factual or legal circumstance. Therefore, if you need legal advice, you should consult an attorney licensed to practice law in your specific jurisdiction. All right. Well, welcome to today's episode of Family Law Talk with Stange Law Firm. We've got an interesting topic today. The title of the topic is Children from Low Conflict Homes Hardest Hit by Divorce. This is based on an article on our webpage, familylawheadquarters.com, dated March 12th, 2014. So at the conclusion of the episode, you can go to familylawheadquarters.com. You can read the article itself. It's a very interesting article, and the article references an article in Psychology Today called Honey, Let's Get Divorced. This is an article published July 26, 2009. By an individual of the name of Hera Estroff Moreno. So it's a very interesting article, and one that I tell the listeners to definitely check out if you're interested in this topic. All right, so let's get into the topic itself. And let's just talk about it briefly. It's really a pretty kind of a counterintuitive topic, but it's pretty straightforward at the same time. So I think it's the opposite of what folks think. You know, most folks think that the high conflict divorces, those are the ones that are the hardest on the kids, that, you know, there's a lot of maybe battling, a lot of arguments, a lot of animosity, and the belief is that this can be very hard on kids, and in particular in homes maybe where the husband and wife did a lot of arguing leading up to the divorce. In other words, husband and wife argue for years, and then maybe they do this in front of the kids. There's a lot of animosity, and that this is hard on the kids in these cases when the parents get divorced. But kind of interesting topic in that there's a 15-year study done by two individuals, somebody named Paul Amato, Ph.D., and then Alan Booth, Ph.D. Both of these individuals are professors of sociology at Pennsylvania State University, and they wrote a book called A Generation at Risk, where this whole question is addressed. And the book considers all kinds of different things like the parents' socioeconomic status, their gender roles and relations, and the quality and stability of the marriage. It then examines children's relationships with their parents and their intimate and broader social affiliations and their psychological well-being. And then in saying all this, the authors report is interesting in that what they basically say is that if there's been a lot of conflict in the marriage, the children actually do better if there's a divorce. And this was a study based off of 2,000 families over the course of 15 years. And what the result of the study was this, is that when parents in these homes where there's been a lot of conflict get divorced, it's no shock to the kids. In other words, the kids almost expected it to happen because there was so much anger, so much arguing, that they'd almost taken the divorce better because, I mean, they could see it coming, in essence. It wasn't a shock, where on the flip side, where there's low conflict marriages, it's actually harder on the kids because the kids in these cases, they don't see anything wrong. In fact, you know, they see their parents, you know, drifting along without showing any emotion. There's not a lot of arguing. There's not a lot of back and forth. And for these kids, you know, they think that the marriage between the parents is actually bad. And so in these cases, you know, where the parents get divorced, this is actually harder on the kids in the low conflict cases. And it's more of a shock. It's more of an issue for them. And these kids have, you know, more trouble dealing with a divorce when it comes to fruition in these low conflict homes. So, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward topic. I think one, you know, that really doesn't, you know, warrant a ton of analysis because it kind of is what it is. It's just an interesting article in that, you know, most folks would conclude that kids who are in high conflict homes are going to do worse than the low conflict homes, where this study, which seems pretty thorough, shows the exact opposite. So, what do the parents out there do? I mean, I don't know. I mean, parents either, they either argue and they bicker or they don't. And so, certainly we're not encouraging parents to have high conflict and argue and bicker because, that's not a good thing. I mean, it is what it is, but it's just the study is interesting, and I think it's one that probably parents ought to be aware of, at least in the back of their head, that if it's a low conflict situation and they're going to get divorced, I mean, I think those parents at least got to be aware of that and need to be concerned about the kids and make sure that the kids, when divorce comes, that the kids are taken care of. Perhaps, counseling, and then, when the topic of divorce is broached to the kids, that the parents do the appropriate things to ensure that these kids are safeguarded in this situation. Because based on the study, the low-conflict homes, the kids don't do particularly well. So I wanted to do a podcast on this topic today because I want to make sure, we get the message out on this point and that the folks know this. Definitely a really interesting topic. Like I said, the article itself is on FamilyLawHeadquarters.com. It's dated March 12, 2014. The title of the article is Children from Low-Conflict Homes Hardest Hit by Divorce. And then again, the article on our Family Law Headquarters webpage references an article on Psychology Today, which you can Google. It's called Honey, Let's Get Divorced. And again, the date of that article is July 26, 2009, written by an individual named Hera Estroff Moreno. Definitely an interesting article, one that's worth the read for the folks who might be either A, going through divorce or B, contemplating the idea of a divorce, because you just want to make sure the kids are protected and that they get the support they need when that divorce comes to fruition. So that's the topic today. Thanks for all the listeners that are listening today with Family Law Talk with Stange Law Firm, and stay tuned to our next episode coming out soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Family Law Talk with Kirk Stange. Visit StangeLawFirm.com for more about today's topic, or to put Stange Law Firm to work for your family today.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.